we're talking about the good weather was starting to come in when we were discussing. I think it was around April time. I says, look, we're having the barbecue at yours, we're having the barbecue at mine. Great lover of music. Paul loved music to the point where you probably couldn't hear your blow out your eardrums if you let him get to the volume controls. DJ'd in his younger days, so that inner youthful spirit was strong, and it manifested itself in Tiesto and GBX style dance tunes. For anybody that's outside Scotland, GBX is a radio show, and Paul's genre of music was very much of that ilk. And we're talking about getting the music on and the barbecue on, and we would have making plans, but not just making plans for business and making plans for material things, but friends and family and barbecues and good times. And he'd ordered it. Says, well, let me know. We'll meet in the gym, and I'll see you when it comes through, and I'll meet you early, and we'll go through it, and then we can train. He says, that sounds good. So he left. He left, and I noticed they didn't pick up his birthday gift. I thought, well, I'll take it out in the gym, and I'll get it to him, and I'll tie it in with the journal. So the girl that works with Paul gave me a call a day or two later, and it was unusual because I don't really get many phone calls. If anyone was going to call, it was going to be Paul. So I answered the phone, and she'd said that Paul had been found dead. And it was a shock because it felt like 2 minutes ago he was in my house talking about the future and where it could go. And just when it was about to take off, just when it was about to kick off for him, he was done. So I said I would head down. So I went to his house, and fair enough, that's what we found. We found him dead. And when we were there, the shock's still in your system because you don't really know, what do you normally do when your best friend's there on the couch. So we're waiting for the police and I think the doctor to do the formalities, and the driver shows up outside. It was an Amazon driver. Some Amazon driver's outside, and he delivers a parcel. And judging by the size of the parcel, I had a good idea of what was in the envelope. I knew it would be the journal. And I remember thinking that the world can be a bit ironic. It can be a bit unusual at times. And I thought, here's the journal for planning for your future, and you're gone. You're in your house, you've passed away, and you're here, and your journal's arrived. And Paul's family came down, and obviously completely devastated to the news because it's a shock to everyone. This guy in arguably the prime of his life, at the absolute best that he's ever been, has died suddenly. So we get to the point where everyone sort of came round, and our emotions have settled a little bit, and the parcel's there, and we opened up the parcel, and from Amazon, and inside it's a journal, but I don't think it had been the journal Paul wanted. And I remember I found this humorous at the time because it was something that Paul, anyone that knew him would have knew that this is not an irregular occurrence where he's maybe ordered the wrong thing. And Paul was very manly and very old school in terms of things should be manly. And the journal was pink. There's no other way to put it. It was pink. And I remember thinking at the time, I was like, you're still making me laugh, and even though you're away, your traits and the things that you do are still here. And if I had my journal, I'll probably edit in a picture. I'll show you the picture of it, because after Paul had passed away, the next time that I ordered the journal, I ordered a pink one as a little salute to my friend. And I guess what it made me realise was that when you've got something that you want to do and you think you want to have a crack at it, do it now. Don't doubt yourself. There's a lot of time that you can spend doubting yourself, and if Paul was here, that would be the story that he would tell you, that he wasted so much time not believing in himself, and me constantly telling him that he had more and that he could squeeze more out of himself, that he shouldn't have wasted that time. Now, that's what he would have said, and it's difficult to do justice to telling a story of someone's life, so I'll do the best that I can thinking of what Paul might have said, but he was really optimistic about people. He would always see the best in people. He would always encourage people to do more, sometimes to the detriment of them. He would sometimes drive them crazy. And I'm thinking of his friends and his family and his loved ones, because he would try to push them, and maybe they'd get a bit frustrated with him because, he was getting on their case because he wanted the best for them. He could see the potential in them. And I was at odds with the things that he'd felt, because he'd obviously experienced the doubt and not pushing himself and maybe not taking that leap. So it's something he probably seen in himself. And his life was a great story of why you should push, because you've got more in you. Paul had more in him. And it was that belief that you might look at it saying that it showed up too late. I don't think it did. I'm glad that he got the belief rather than he never got the belief. And I guess in hindsight, we would say it would be much better if he got it earlier, but that's life. And I would think the message that he would give would be not to waste time. Believe in yourself. If you've got a bit in you, then push. If you're going to try something, and do it. Failure's going to come. Failure's part of the process, right? But the biggest failure you can make, the one that will kill you, the one that will live with you your whole life, that you'll never forgive yourself for, is not trying. And even though Paul's death was untimely, I'm really glad that he gave it a go, because it's better to have given it a go than never to have tried. So if you see someone out there that's got a bit of potential, back them. If they've got a bit of self-doubt, push them. If they lack the belief, believe in them. Show them. Let them know that failure's part of the game. Let them know that doubt they shouldn't give too much time to. Let them know that fear is just in their mind, right? And if they're going to fail, you'll be there for them. And if they're going to give it a crack, you'll be there for them and drag them along, because it's never too late, and it's better late than never. And I think if Paul was here today, that would be what he would tell you.